Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's bird video. We're going to have a look at the weather. Next 10 to 14 days for today's bird video. Day 10 will take us to the 28th of March. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the CFS V2 ensembles. Maybe we'll try in a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. And that will get us well into April. I should get on that for you in a moment. Just say that first video received was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. And if that wasn't enough, we've also released our first update for Easter. Easter countdown has begun at GavsWeatherVids, so check out that video if you'd like to do that. Like, share, subscribe on all of today's pieces of content. And thanks so everybody for doing that. Fluffy merch has been released. So here we go. This is your GavsWeatherVids fluffy mug that you see here. Also included in that is lots of chocolate as well. It's an Easter time, so we've got Cadbury's cream eggs, Cadbury's mini eggs, and a Malteser pudding. And if that wasn't enough, of course, you've got a coaster to go with your fluffy mug and a fluffy pen. Wow. So it's kind of like a 4-piece set with the chocolates, as long as I don't eat them all before they sell. No, I wouldn't do that. Of course I wouldn't do that. So if you would like a little bit of fluffy merch, all you need to do is send £15 to the GavsWeatherVids PayPal.me account. This is it here, and you can find the link in the description with this video. Send 15 quid to their GavsWeatherVids PayPal account, and put a little note, let me know that it is for fluffy merch. We shall get that out to you. And thank you so much everybody for doing that. The merch is another revenue stream that helps pay your channel, along with the advertisements and channel membership, you know, all of that stuff, super chat, super thanks, whatnot. It's all helping to pay for me to be able to sit here and do this for you and everybody, and for myself as well. So it's absolutely incredible, and thank you so much to all of our merch buyers over the past 7 months. So thanks to Shane09Shape for designing our fluffy merch as well. Of course, thank you, Fluffy, who is currently on the run in America after getting into all sorts of bother in LA, but I won't go I haven't better go into that, or I might find myself being sued by the fluffy one. I don't know. Right, okay, let's start off, Ben. Thank you so much, let's start off with central temperature. CT is currently sitting at 7.5, which is 1.9 degrees, nearly 2 degrees above 61 to 99 average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 17th of March. That's a pretty high number. Bear in mind, we started off quite cold for March. You have seen a really warm spell of weather through the second week of the month. It remains very mild, and that's going to carry on rising, I think, over the coming days. These are the 500 millibar height and anomaly flowcharts for Penn State University for the next week, 10 days. We've got the ECMWF on the top. GFS is down here on the bottom. So 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the absolute high pressure, low pressure, being moved around by jet stream running above. Red extrapolates to above average heights, which is high pressure. Blue to below average heights, which is low pressure. These are mean flowcharts for 7 to 10 day time frame. And you can see that in the 7 to 10 day time frame, the ECM looks very unsettled with deep low pressure in the Atlantic into western parts of Europe. This takes us into the Easter period as well, by the way. So a very unsettled Easter there with the ECM, and the GFS looks very similar. In fact, it might be even more unsettled with the trough of low pressure in the Atlantic and through the west of Europe as well, with jet stream wind flows on the northwest southeast alignment. So yeah, you know, it looks very unsettled, although we have got a little bit more in way of northern blocking as well with the GFS. So not only unsettled, but maybe a slightly colder signal as well. Some cold air getting pulled down into that trough of low. But fundamentally, they are both very low pressure dominated. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're at London today, so red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. Starting off above average at the moment, going to stay that way through the next few days. But by the weekend, we're going colder. We see a bit of a plunge in those upper air temperatures taking place as we move up towards the weekend. And staying pretty cold, actually, as we go into towards the run-up to Easter, which is this period just here, into the beginning of April, possibly seeing a little bit of a warming trend, although there is a bit of scatter within that, you'll notice the thick green line, which is the GFS V2 operation run, is cold really from around the 23rd of March onwards, right way through to the very end. It's a bit of a cold outlier. We'll have a look at it in a moment. But it does look as though we're in for probably a week, perhaps, of cold and average temperature. Precipitation-wise, could be a lot of dry weather through the next couple of days, but things will be turning more unsettled by the end of the week, and particularly into the weekend and next week, with some rather large precipitation spikes telling us that we could be in for quite a wet Easter, which is this period, of course, just here. Temperature anomalies from the 18th to 26th of March, about average, not a particularly big deviation either way. Precipitation anomalies from the 18th to 26th of March, near normal in the north, and dry of an average down in the south. Latest with that from earthandallschool.net. So we've got another area of low pressure in the Atlantic today. Quite a big area of low up here, and an active weather front through there as well. Okay, let's start going through chart data. Let me have the latest UK bet Euro run is looking for midnight on Thursday. A little transient ridge of high pressure building up ahead of the next area of low. By Friday, low pressure pushing in from off the Atlantic, bringing weather front and also some rain and cooler northwesterly winds. Into the weekend, winds go from the northwest into the north, so it becomes colder through the weekend. Showers turning wintry, turn to snow up in the north as well. And then by the beginning of next week, winds back into the west again as the next area of low pressure starts coming in from off the Atlantic. So brief cold snap next weekend, then the wind turning back into the west. Probably only temporarily so though. So Icon is looking again, a little bit of transient ridge there for Thursday, but by Friday into Saturday, we're turning rather wet wind with low pressure to the north of Scotland. Winds turning into the northwest as well, so becoming cooler with those northwesterly winds. Sunday sees the wind backing more towards the west until this trough of low pressure then starts shifting southwards. That gets us to midday next Monday. The low pressure is heading southwards and starts to pull some colder air southwards with it. KMA looks like that. So once more, we've got that transient ridge for Thursday, but we turn wet wind on Friday. Then it's significantly cooler or colder into the weekend with northwesterly or even northerly winds. Another area of low pressure coming in through the beginning of next week. That one diving southwards and pulling wind into the east. All looking rather unsettled and chilly there, I have to say, with the KMA. And then heading up towards Easter, the high pressure builds over Scandinavia, starts to block off the Atlantic, and these areas of low pressure start going on a northwest-southeast trajectory, probably bringing lots of wet weather into southern and western regions in particular. Will depend how cold this easterly wind is as to whether that is just rain or whether that could include sleet and snow. GFS midnight run once more with a ridge on Thursday, being replaced by a trough on Friday into the weekend, turning cooler or cold as low pressure dives into the North Sea. Wind going from the northwest into the north, and showers turning wintry readily across the country. To the beginning of next week, another low diving southwards across the west of Europe. Again, that pulls in the wind from a north or a northeasterly direction through the early part of next week. Upper air temperatures are looking cold through the early part of next week as well. And then we head on in towards the Easter period, and low pressure tries to get in from off the Atlantic, and then this big low here starts forming through the Easter weekend. And we talked about this in the first Easter update, of course. Severe gales there by Easter Saturday, 30th of March. Proper old storm, probably over the top, but given the unsettled winter we've had, it does make you wonder whether that could verify. And then heading into the end of the GFS midnight run, some milder air starts coming up from the south, albeit it's quite unsettled. GFS 6 then again, that little transient ridge there on Thursday, being replaced by low pressure through the end of the week and the weekend, becoming colder with winds swinging into a northerly direction and some blocking high pressure getting going up towards Iceland as well. Upper air temperatures look cold into the early part of next week. Winds staying from the north and from the northeast through most of next week, so it remains quite cold. Towards the end of next week, lower pressures trying to head in from off the Atlantic, coming against this blocking area of high pressure. So if it's winter, we'll have all sorts of funny games with that. It isn't. It's well into spring. Nevertheless, it probably will still be quite cold if those winds came from an easterly direction through the Easter weekend. The upper air temperature looking at very least chilly, if not cold. And that is a proper long-lasting easterly that we have there over the Easter period. And it does have cold air coming in with it, with that -5 Celsius blunt. So cold and, you know, a little bit on the wintry side through Easter with GFS 6 there. We saw it on the ensemble graph, though, but this is a bit of a cold outlier, this GFS 6 blunt. So it probably won't be as cold as this is suggesting. But nevertheless, it is the idea still in play that we could be in for some significantly cooler or colder weather by the end of March into the beginning of April. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe. Make sure everyone forward to doing that. Won't drop a comment, let us know what I think about this and all of our bits of content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. We need to put on around 55. I'm so sorry, everybody. We need to put on around 55 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.1k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, it'd be amazing, it'd be incredible. We thank so much everyone for doing that. Sorry once again, GM. Again, that ridge of high pressure building up from the Azores through Thursday, and then on Friday and Saturday we replace that Azores ridge with a big area of low pressure. That brings cooler or colder air southwards with it, and winds turning into the northwest and then into the north with wintry showers into northern and eastern regions. Beginning of next week sees wind backing into the west, staying unsettled with those westerly winds, and looking really very unsettled by day 10, which is the 28th of March. Deep low pressure there to the west of Scotland, and not particularly cold, but certainly a very, very, very unsettled scenario as we're moving into the Easter period there with the jam. And then the East Jam finally with the transient ridge on Thursday from the Azores high. Then we're into cooler or colder conditions with northwesterly to northerly winds over the weekend. Wintry showers likely in northern and eastern regions as well. And then the winds backing into the west into the beginning of next week with wet and windy weather sweeping in from off the Atlantic, taking us up to day 10, looking very unsettled with a deep low pressure area in the Atlantic. And that will probably set up an unsettled Easter, by the way, because that low pressure is a big low, but surely away there in the North Atlantic. So I would suspect that unsettled conditions will carry on. That gets more Maundy Thursday, 28th of March. But I expect unsettled conditions will continue right the way through the Easter period then. This is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run, but to meteor.com. More rain to come over the next couple of days, but not as wet as it has been. And then going to the end of the week, we bring those northwesterly and eventually northerly winds, shower turning wintry, especially so in central and also northern regions. Then low pressure comes in from the Atlantic to the beginning of next week, brings some showery rain with a little bit of sleet, so possibly mixed in as well. Then generally quite cold really through to the middle part of next week. Then we're back to heavy rain coming in from off the Atlantic. That not so particularly active weather front that's moving through the country just there. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensemble day 4, day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 28th of March. 20 members of the ECM ensembles have deep low pressure over into the west of the country, so plenty of wet and windy weather to come with that. 18 with low pressure just to the west. We've got higher pressure though away to the east, and winds are coming up from a southerly direction with that one. So mild, but also quite unsettled with that low pressure in the Atlantic. And then we've got 13 with a big low right over top of the country. That brings lots of unsettled conditions with it. Higher pressure blocking up to the north. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 2nd of April. 13 members of the ECM ensembles with a Scandinavian high and low pressures to the south, but bring the wind in from the east, and could be quite chilly with that, actually. We've got 12 with low pressure right over top of the country. That's going to be unsettled. Not overly cold winds off the Atlantic, but certainly unsettled. Another 12 with low pressure just to our west and southwest. That's looking very unsettled as well. 8 with high pressure to the north and to the east of the country. Low pressure out in the Atlantic. That should be bringing up relatively mild southerly southwesterlies. And then we've got 6 with high pressure blocking towards Greenland, Iceland, low pressure across the north and west of Europe. And winds will be coming in from quite a cold northeasterly direction. Now, a range of options here as we're going into the 10-day time frame. Most of them, I have to say, though, do have some low pressure conditions to some degree. So even into the beginning of April, it may well be staying quite unsettled. CFS V2 finally beats a 500 millibar of our high times breakdown into week periods. The first week period will take from the 18th, 24th of March. Next week, looking unsettled with low pressure to north, high pressure will be to south, and winds will be coming in from off the Atlantic in a westerly direction. Week 2 is going to be the 25th to the 31st of March, with again low pressure right over country and just to our west, looking very unsettled with that scenario. Showers and spells of rain. Week 3 is going to be the 1st to the 7th of April. High pressures away to the east, low pressure to west southwest, winds coming up from a southerly or a southeast direction, mostly dry but probably quite mild. And week 4 will be the 8th to the 14th of April. With high pressure over country, should be mostly dry with that. There's a strong northern blocking signal, but it's not aligned to bring anything cold to us. Actually, will be relatively mild with winds coming up from the southeast. Rather different CFS there for early April compared to some of the model output that we've just seen, telling us that, as ever, there remains a lot of uncertainty when we get beyond a week out. So we shall see how it all plays out. And of course, as we're coming up to the Easter period with all of this, we will be keeping you well and truly updated. And we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please you like, share, and subscribe. And show everyone for Jim out. Won't drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe to help get us to 18.1k. And please remember your fluffy mug. So much everybody for doing that. Right, I just tell us happening on the chat tomorrow. We're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast, the extended European outlook, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day out. We will be getting in the winter 2023-24 forecast verification this week as well. I don't know what day that will be. I've got to clear it. You know, it's on the top of the list. So I've got to clear it off the list. So that will be appearing. Might be tomorrow even. I don't know, but it will be appearing very soon within the next day or two, imminently, basically. Right, so you enjoy the rest of your Monday. And for this one, though, that's all for now. And thanks so much.